Whether you live in Bellingham presently or you're thinking about a move to the area, it's possible that you're not familiar with all of the developments that are unfolding as we speak. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 neighborhoods for you to keep an eye on here in 2025 and beyond. And if you stick around till the end, I'll share with you a neighborhood that perhaps you've never heard of. We're going to get started right now. All right, so diving right in, first on our list, we're going to talk a little bit about the King Mountain neighborhood. Now, the King Mountain neighborhood is located to the east of I-5, the east of Guide Meridian, the west, essentially, of Mount Baker Highway as it heads out towards the mountain, and it's north of kind of the Sunset and Barkley areas. It's currently home to approximately 4,000 residents. There's a lot that's going on in this neighborhood, both with regard to development of real estate and home availability, as well as with parks and infrastructure. If you're considering the King Mountain neighborhood, you're looking for a home in this area, one of the spots you're definitely going to want to check out and learn more about is the Cross Ridge Urban Housing Community. Now, this is a 3-phase project. Phase 1 being 30 single-family homes. This is located off of Kellogg Road on what is called Creston Way. So these homes are under construction right now. Many of them are actively on the market and for sale. They're beautiful homes, high-end finishes, great indoor-outdoor living spaces, low-maintenance yards, a lot of things that would appeal to a lot of people. Phase 2 of this project will be 22 attached, meaning side-by-side townhomes, and phase 3 will be an executive style apartment building. So lots of growth, lots of expansion concentrated in this one area. There's a lot of plans for improvement by the city of Bellingham with different parks and trail systems that will intersect with this neighborhood and connect to other neighborhoods as well. So specific to housing availability in this area, this is one particular project that you definitely want to check out. Also important to note, there's a 29-acre parcel of land that's been acquired by the city of Bellingham that effectively is in the Bakerview Telegraph area. Now, there are plans, despite the fact that these plans are not set in stone yet, my understanding is that they'll look to replicate in this area something somewhat similar to what they've done in the Cordata Park area. We'll talk more about that here in a later section. But this is a 29-acre parcel. It's going to dramatically increase opportunities for outdoor activities, for fun, for gathering, for community events here in the King Mountain area. And another important project to note is this James Street multi-use path improvement. This is going to run all the way from Telegraph Road all the way to Gooding Road. Now, this is going to be a widening and improvement of the road itself. It's going to be a solid shoulder and then a pedestrian and bicycle path that runs alongside that route as well. This will connect more of the King Mountain neighborhood, take you all the way down from Telegraph up to King Mountain itself, connecting you to Bakerview, connecting you over to eventually the Meridian neighborhood. So lots of cool things that are going on here in the King Mountain area. Again, currently home to just shy of 4,000 people, but the expectation is that that will grow quite a bit as we move into 2025 and beyond. Number 2 on our list is the Birchwood neighborhood. Now, this uniquely shaped neighborhood would arguably begin where Squalicum Way intersects with Northwest Avenue. Northwest Avenue runs all the way to the northern boundary connecting with McLeod Road, McLeod over to Bennett Drive, and Bennett Drive back down to Marine Drive, which then turns into Eldridge Avenue as you head back towards town. This neighborhood is currently home to more than 5,000 residents here in Bellingham, and one of the hallmark attributes of this neighborhood is its lot size. So oftentimes we'll have people come to us and say that they're searching for a home and for a property that is relatively close to town, but will afford them opportunities for things like large play structures, gardening space, perhaps some urban farming with raising chickens, things like that. And so that is one of the first neighborhoods that comes to mind and one of the first places we would look when someone has that as a requirement on their list. These lot sizes often 1/4 acre, a 1/3 acre, a 1/2 acre, all the way up to 1 acre lots that are located in the Birchwood neighborhood. Now, because of this, there is likely to be a lot of future growth in the Birchwood neighborhood based on increased housing density, rezoning, what have you, allowing for additional homes to be built on these existing lots here within the Birchwood neighborhood. Perhaps these are accessory dwelling units, otherwise known as ADUs. Perhaps these are full-fledged separate living structures that are built on these large lots that are there in Birchwood. Another thing that's really cool about improvements that are being made to the Birchwood neighborhood, park by the name of Storybrooke Park. Now, this is a big park project that's set to unfold here in 2025. They've been in planning phase for some time. Improvements are going to include play structures, basketball courts, trail systems. One of the coolest things that they're working on for Storybrooke Park is an edible garden space. Now, this is something that looks to replicate Seattle's Beacon Food Forest, which has been recognized as the first public edible permaculture garden of its size in the United States, and it's been wildly successful. So in an area that would oftentimes be regarded as a food desert, there was an Albertsons grocery store in the Birchwood neighborhood that closed years ago, and it has eliminated immediate and necessary access to a lot of clean, healthy food, especially fresh produce, available to the residents of the Birchwood neighborhood without accessing public transit or having their own vehicle. This will look to serve as a way to connect with the local community to not only provide a food source, but also to teach them about farming, regenerative farming practices, and things that they can be doing in their own backyards to produce their own food. So Birchwood neighborhood, number 2 on our list, definitely one to keep an eye on. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, we encourage you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you can keep up on all the content that we're releasing about Bellingham, about Whatcom County, and all the great things that are going on here in the area. My name is Jeff Engen. I'm with MJB Real Estate Group here in Bellingham, and every day we get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you considering a move to this area, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking about moving tomorrow, 10 months from now, sometime in between, we encourage you to reach out. All of our contact information can be found below, and we've also put together a very helpful, completely free relocation guide that you can download either via the link on the screen or the link below. We encourage you to check that out. It'll help you to continue to explore if Bellingham might be the right spot for you. But for now, let's get back to talking about these 5 up-and-coming neighborhoods here in Bellingham. Number 3 on our list is the Bellingham Waterfront. Now, this particular piece of property that we're going to talk about in this particular area of town was going back to the 60s, was acquired as a pulp mill by the Georgia-Pacific Paper Company. So this was a production facility, pulp and tissue mill that's located here in Bellingham. It ran all the way until 2007 when it was finally closed. And since that time, the city has made major efforts in their cleanup of this property. There was a lot of pollution, a lot of contamination of this property during the time, and as a result of Georgia-Pacific being there on site. And it's long been a piece of property that the city looked to revitalize, to incorporate into Bellingham, and to continue to enhance and develop both from the standpoint of, residential use, business use, recreational use, what have you. So fast forward to something like 2015, Harcourt Developments out of Dublin, Ireland was awarded a contract to begin these revitalization efforts down on this 18 some odd acre piece of property on the Bellingham waterfront. The first thing that they did was to revitalize this granary building that was built back in the early 1900s, maybe 1925, 28, somewhere in that range. That was an agricultural hub here in Whatcom County for farmers throughout Bellingham, Linden, Ferndale, and beyond. Since that time, that entire building has been completely renovated, remodeled. It's home to a host of restaurants, coffee shops, yoga studios, hair salons, physical therapy clinic. There's all sorts of cool stuff that you can check out there in the granary building. And immediately adjacent to that, there are 3 new condo buildings going up as we speak. There's 30 units per building. There's 3 buildings, so 90 units in total, ranging, in the low to mid 500,000s for the non-view smaller units, all the way up and north of, $3 million for the penthouse suites in these buildings. The ground floor is going to be more commercial and business space, and I believe that there are plans for a hotel to be built out of one of the existing and remaining Georgia-Pacific buildings that's there on the property as well. So this is a huge improvement that's a multi-year process just to get to where we are now. There's still a multi-year process to get to, kind of the end vision of what this property will someday be. But the Bellingham waterfront, if you want to be, core central Bellingham, you want to be on the water, some amazing views, some immediate access to some of the newest and coolest recreational opportunities, for example, the pump track, bicycle track, the skateboarding park that are both immediately next to these properties that we're talking about, well, then the Bellingham waterfront is definitely a place for you to not only familiarize yourself with, but to continue to keep an eye on here in 2025 and beyond. Number 3 on our list, the Bellingham Waterfront. Number 4 on our list is the Cordata neighborhood. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos, you've perhaps heard me talk about Cordata before. This is kind of the last great frontier, if you will, in the Bellingham area, with most of our neighborhoods being fully developed and not really a lot of space to continue to grow or expand. Cordata is this sprawl on the north end of Bellingham towards Ferndale. It runs west of the Guide Meridian and north of Bakerview, and it is home currently to roughly 7,000 residents here in the area. area. This encompasses, everything from single-family homes to multifamily homes to townhomes to apartments to 55-plus communities. There's a lot that's going on in the Cordata area. There's a lot of growth, a lot of expansion. A lot of these homes that are being built as we speak are technology forward. So you're going to have things like high energy efficiency, solar panels, different initiatives that are in place to, again, as we've talked about in other videos, be good stewards of the planet and make sure that the homes that we're building are environmentally friendly as much as possible. Now, one of the biggest developments in recent years here in the Cordata area has been the addition of Cordata Park. So this is a 25-acre park that has everything from a kids' play structure to a parkour playground to a bicycle track to recently added pickleball courts, basketball courts. There's a ton of activities for you to enjoy there on that 25-acre park, along with walking trails, running trails throughout. There are other plans for new parks and connecting the Cordata Park to other existing parks to further enhance this trail system that runs through that neighborhood. And there's a lot of continued growth here in the area. You've got Whatcom Community College located there within the Cordata area. This brings a lot of new people to the area on a regular basis. It necessitates access to everything from student housing all the way up to, again, as I mentioned at the start of this segment, the 55-plus and retirement communities that are located in this area. So it's a diverse area. There's a lot of business growth and expansion in this area to cater to this growing population. And so for those reasons and many more, Cordata is definitely a neighborhood to keep your eye on in 2025 and beyond. Number 5 on our list is one that you've likely not heard of before. It is the Hannah Creek neighborhood. Now, this is a very small neighborhood that is tucked between what I would call the Whatcom Falls neighborhood and the Geneva neighborhood. It backs up immediately to Galbraith Mountain, which if you've watched any of my other videos, particularly those that talk about outdoor recreation, you have undoubtedly heard me speak of Galbraith Mountain before. It is world-class mountain biking, a phenomenal trail system that's central to Bellingham and a huge part of the community. And so here in Hannah Creek, it's a neighborhood that's being developed by a company called Skiers Construction. They're putting in 172 new homes as they expand a couple of these streets. So you have Brookstone Drive and Birch Falls Drive that are both being extended towards Galbraith Mountain to make way for these homes. Now, these homes oftentimes back up to Greenbelt. They're high efficiency. They're very modern in their design. They're phenomenal homes. And again, perhaps the thing that many people, especially cyclists, are most excited about is this opportunity to walk out their front door, hop on their bike, and be on Galbraith Mountain in just a matter of minutes. This particular location, even though you're backed up to this green space, you've got immediate access to the outdoors, is just only moments away from a Whole Foods, a Fred Meyer, access to I-5 in downtown. And so for that reason, and again, like I mentioned in the Cordata section of the video, there's not a lot of room for growth for large developments within existing Bellingham neighborhoods. This is one particular exception with 172 total homes going in over multiple phases. So number 5 on the list, Hannah Creek. I do want to share that this video is in no way exhaustive. There are lots of great things going on all throughout Bellingham. And again, we're going to continue to try and create videos and produce content that keeps you up to speed on all of those things. But for today's purposes, these are 5 areas that I definitely encourage you to keep an eye on, whether you're a resident here in Bellingham or you're someone who's thinking about moving to the area. As always, I hope this video has been helpful and informative. I want to encourage you one last time to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, as well as to download that free relocation guide that you can access via the link on the screen or the link down below. But thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon.